what is the very best beginner kendama, or what's the best first kendama to get if you don't have a kendama yet? This is kind of a common question that I hear a lot, and it's an interesting one. If you're brand new to kendama, you might be interested to, where do I start? Maybe you have a friend who's getting started with kendama, so you want to know what to recommend. But then even for experienced kendama players, it's just, for some reason, a very interesting kind of debate and conversation. So I thought we'd explore it a little bit today, and I would share my opinions with you guys, and you can let me know what you think. First off, I believe, and I think most people would agree, that when you're getting your first kendama, you don't want to spend a lot of money. You want to get something that makes sense and is in a decent price range, because the truth is you may not really like kendama, and in that case you don't want to waste your money on an expensive kendama. So you may hear a lot of things about, sleigh dogs, crafts, homegrowns, grain theories. These are all amazing kendamas, for sure, amazing kendamas. But I would not recommend getting something like this as your first kendama, because the price tag is just not worth it for the benefits that you'll gain. So I would recommend staying in the under $30 range if you can, US dollars. And then the main debate ends up becoming between, do you choose a kind of traditional kendama with a slick tama or a natty tama, or do you choose a kendama with like a rubberized or sticky tama? So often the debate revolves around something like an Ozora or TK16 versus something like, this is a Soul Vibe, this is a Northern kendama, this is Atlantic kendama. These kind of represent your Japanese traditional kendamas with slick tamas. These are all kendamas that have like silk or rubber or sticky tamas that are gonna enable certain tricks to become easier when you start out. The debate is often, is it better to start with one of these and learn on something that's a little bit harder and then transition to something like this? Or is it better to learn on something like this so you can get some of those tricky lighthouses, those down first, and then you have more success early on? And honestly, I think the debate is interesting, but the reality is the right choice is probably different depending on who you are. So I started with this. This was my first kendama. It was an Ozora that I got, just a single color. It's very slick tama. It's been broken in, so it's less slick than it used to be, but it's pretty icy. I played with it exclusively for like the first month of playing kendama, and I'm super glad that I did. Lighthouses were very hard, but I was able to get them on this kendama, and I feel like it built my foundation really well. I was able to focus on fundamentals. If I'd gotten discouraged easily, like if I knew that maybe kendama wasn't my thing and I wanted more success, it might have been better to start on something like a Soul Vibe or an Atlantic kendama or Northern kendama. These are all under $30, super good kendamas. Perhaps that would have been a better choice, but the reality is you may not know. So in my opinion, the best kendama to buy is really a kendama that you know you're going to play. It's something that you're going to have fun with. If you know yourself and you know that you're into like skill toys and you really push yourself, you like to kind of take things the hard route for a better benefit down the road, definitely pick up, I would pick up one of the more traditional, maybe JKA kendamas, or even like a natty kendama like this P&W Slate. Pick up one of these kendamas that may be initially harder for some tricks, but your fundamentals are going to improve because of it. Now, if you're not sure if you like kendama or you just want to have a lot of fun, just these are more available to you, grab something that has like some tracking on it, like these half splits or triple splits. Grab something that has a sticky or a silk tama. In the end, if you really like kendama, if you really dig it, you're going to get more than one kendama anyway. In the end, I believe every player should probably have, if you only have two kendamas, definitely I think it's worth having like a JKA Japanese kendama with a slippery or natty tama, and one that's a little more modern with some tracking and some grip on the tama. I think it's worth having both just to experience both. So as far as a beginner, if you have enough money, get both. If you don't have enough money, start with whichever one you think you're gonna have the most fun with, that's going to allow you to enjoy learning and progressing. That's my suggestion. Now, obviously there's a lot of gray area here, and again, it's kind of a personal decision. So don't let anybody tell you that there's only one way to go, either this or this. That's not the case. Just like learning kendama tricks, there's not one way to do it. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Don't be paralyzed by the choice. Just pick up one. Pick up a kendama. Now, I don't have anything against companies like Toysmith or Duncan or other companies like some of the ones on Amazon. As an aside, I did pick up my Ozora on Amazon. I don't have anything against those companies, but the kendamas are not made so much for the kendama player in mind. They're made more from a toy company perspective. So I would stick with brands that are known to be primarily kendama makers, and they're really trying to help push kendama, either players, events, the sport itself. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think you should start with like a JKA, slippery, or natty kendama, or do you think you should start with a silk or sticky kendama when you're a beginner? Or do you think it depends on the person, or do you think it doesn't even matter? Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and let me know if this kind of video is helpful and you want to see more like it. I always appreciate you guys' support and for watching the videos. So check you out in a later video. Bye.